Hey everybody, today we are watching V3 Esports versus Detonation Focus Me. I'm going to hit play, adjust the volume accordingly so we can still hear them sweet game sounds. A little bit of the Japanese casters over there, but hopefully the rest of my voice drowns it out a little bit. Desktop audio not getting picked up too much. Going to bump that up a little bit, make sure that you guys hear that. But the reason that we are watching V3 Esports versus Detonation Focus Me, you can look at the top right beneath their names. 3-0 for V3 and Detonation Focus Me starting out a little slow, 1-1. This is, of course, their third game of the season only, so not that far into the season, but Detonation Focus Me, who has so clearly dominated the LJL for oh so long, having lost already to Crest Gaming Act and then getting into some other dicey business against V3 Esports. I do know the results of this match, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit already, but going to go ahead through this game. I know the results already mainly because I watched the game and wasn't recording anything. And that was a great hoot and a holler, but that's okay because I was coughing like a madman. Got past what I thought was turning into a cold or me losing my voice. But now we're here in V3 Esports, banning out Nautilus and Sejuani. On the other side, Detonation Focus Me, banning out Mordekaiser and Rek'Sai. The Mordekaiser, interesting to me. Maybe that's a mystery pick in the bag or something. I haven't seen it picked across many regions right now or banned. But maybe Detonation Focus Me knows something in scrims. The rest of us do not. Yeah, because I'm seeing... Oh, actually, seeing a couple of bans here looking at my stats page on the wonderful GOL gamesoflegends.gg website, giving me all them fast stats really quick. Oh, but only 2 games. Bans, 7 bans across the regions here. I want to look more closely into that later on. But let's keep talking about the pick ban. Tahm Kench getting banned out because Tahm Kench, no matter how many times you nerf him, he is still going to be relevant, it seems, because you being able to devour your friend there almost acts like a Zhonya's. Free Zhonya's for an 80 carry is pretty phenomenal. I mean, getting a stopwatch is great enough, but letting your AD carry just live long enough and then letting the other team decide, do we try and blow all our kit? Because this Tahm Kench, if he has flash, is going to get away from us and protect that AD carry. So taking that off the table. Karma, that's an easy ban for Detonation Focus Me, because Karma, way too much strength in the bottom lane. She just received a little bit of a nerf in this previous patch, going on to 913. That's not going to hit right now because we're on 912. So dealing with that. Aatrox getting first picked by V3, and let's just go down the line here really quick as we're almost heading to the second part of bans. So I go on and on about what's going on. V3 rounding out their comp right now with Aatrox, Caitlyn, and Lux. So I'm really liking the way this team's looking. A lot of nice poke from the Caitlyn and Lux. That'll be a lot of lane control in the bottom side of the map. Aatrox, an absolute monster in the top side. Could throw a mid, could flex to jungle. Less likely on the mid and jungle so much, but I would expect top, but add that a little bit of flexibility as we sort of move away even from all those flex picks that were used so often around MSI. On the other side, Detonation Focus Me going with an Elise, which felt a little odd for me the first time I saw it. It is just flat out saying, hey, I'm going to try and track you down in the jungle. I want to mess with you. I want to fight you a little bit. Go for some early dives, which, I mean, already... It's just an early pick Elise. I would have rather seen a couple of other jungle options. I mean, we already had the Sejuani off the table. Gragas getting banned, but I feel like still had a couple of other options as far as the junglers to pick from. Could have been a number of things. I mean, the Gragas getting off the table, even something like a Xin would have been better than anything. But getting the Lover's bottom lane, that is completely fine. A little bit of strength in that bottom lane. Xayah getting more and more playtime as crit items became more popular, but that's going to be a real tough lane and obnoxious lane to deal with between the Lux and the Caitlyn. Going to be very hard to deal with. Detonation Focus Me picking up Aurelia and then matching that with an Akali. The Akali Aatrox, they could flip that around pretty easily. Detonation Focus Me have a little bit of flexibility with themselves with the Aurelia. Xin Zhao getting picked up for Baby. So there's a lot of go in and get them on V3 Esports. I think a lot of beautiful turret dive potential. You could send Xin in or the Aatrox in under turret range. Preferably Aatrox having pop World Ender, get a kill, able to take that revive, take a lot of turret shots. Have a Kali Zin jump in likewise, and Caitlyn and Lux poking from a nice safe distance. Don't expect that. Oh, okay, Hecarim coming in. Hecarim considered a bit of a counter pick to Aatrox. I don't know the matchup in any kind of perfect sense. I can speculate, though. It does have some sustain, some consistent damage, and actually can go for an Ignite instead of opting for a Flash. Can avoid some of the shenanigans of Aatrox with the Darkened Blade. Can just E out. Just devastating charge. And get out of that business. But a little bit more of a skill matchup. I think we saw it popularized by Licorice and NA. I think it was tried a couple times around other regions, but I think most notably Licorice. But haven't really seen this very often as of recent. Aatrox just... It almost feels like it doesn't matter. I mean, he needs to get some nerfs real bad here, I think, pretty soon. And I don't think it's coming in next patch either. So maybe Riot's just considering the options of what to do with him. But he is feeling very, very potent. Well, let's see how this Hecarim goes and unfolds in this tale of ours. V3 Esports, I can see very clearly what their team composition is trying to do. Detonation Focus Me, they've got a really nice team fight around them. Aurelia dropping down her ultimate, followed up by a Hecarim ulti to start the fight out, get a little bit of decent of engage from that onslaught of shadows. Rakan, you can drop in with a grand entrance and that quickness. A lot of just CC, a lot of good team fight potential, and the thing that's going to get them to those team fights, it should be Steel on that Elise going for those dives. I don't think there's a lot of great champions for Elise to play off of so much. It's hard for me to say. I can see maybe the bottom side of Yutorio Mayash. I'm going to butcher that name. I wrote out a phonetic spelling for what I believed I heard the LJL caster saying, which was Yutori Moyash. They dropped the I, which is, as a dumb American, is going to kill me because I'm going to keep wanting to say Moyashi. So please bear with me as I deal with that stupid problem of mine. But going to do my best to try and speak appropriately. Anyways, maybe I would expect that there's going to be a lot of emphasis going on to the bottom lane. A lot of focus there. And I know I already admitted, raise my hand right now in honesty, I know the result of this game. I know how things did play out. I'm trying to sort of act, I guess not act, but put on my perspective. I did say a lot of this in the previous cast, but, you know, let me just fly off of it. Let me just try and be a little bit more natural and roll with the punches. As we see with that fan vote, though, holy cow, Detonation Focus Me getting in a whopping 94%. I make a comparison all the time, but Detonation Focus Me, they're just such the TSMs of the LJL. Like early TSM, where TSM was just smacking everybody, then Cloud9 showed up. I'm waiting for that Cloud9 to show up. Is it V3? Is it Crest Gaming Act? V3, they've changed their team composition around just a little bit. They kept the top laner, Savage leaving the jungle position, Baby coming in. He was formerly of AHQ and actually a former support. Baby didn't play at all, I believe, in the competitive scene last year and did play support initially. I'm excited about that transition. I mean, it seems to be working out for V3 so far with a 3-0 start. But that support to jungle, a lot of people always talk about how, like, what would be the easiest position to transition from and to. It probably would be like that jungle support. They share a lot of similarities between their macro calls in the early game or into late game and stuff like that. Just gaining vision control as the jungler and support are usually thought of the guys responsible for that and setting up plays and stuff for the team. So makes a pretty decent transition thought process there. So maybe if you play support, maybe if you play jungle, maybe dabble into each other's positions there, because, I mean, heck, neither of those positions have to naturally farm. It might be the right choice to not have to work on your farm, because, dear Lord, do I know that if I'm, like, playing jungle all day and then I try and go into a lane, I am atrocious, so maybe an easier, a good secondary position to fly from. But we see the junglers just barely missing each other's sight there. I don't think I saw the eyes popping up on Steel, but it looks like they're going to meet each other here for a moment. Steel does not want to deal with that early shenanigans of a Xin. He's got a lot of power with that double buffs. Steel just going to play it safe, drop out some damage as Baby just wants that rift or that scuttle crab for himself. That is Hail of Blades in, so if he gets onto that Elise, I would expect that Elise to die very, very quickly. And whoa, and there we see the damage of a Lux and Caitlyn coming out. It's such like a bronze level sort of lane from back in the day, a Caitlyn Lux, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is never going to work in pro play, but it's coming far more prolific, having the range advantage. Caitlyn definitely coming back into style as crit champions as a whole are becoming much more popular. Caitlyn just having so much siege potential. A favorite champion of many to just set up traps. I mean, I love her personally. She's great at setting up for objectives pretty consistently with the trap line and able to stay pretty safely on her own. And now you have an additional damage source from the Lux to lock down targets and shield. Nice absurdity there. Steal more focus from Detonation Focus Me. Try and get this bottom lane in check. We see the cocoon. We see the knockup not landing just barely. Ignite getting dropped down onto the Caitlyn. A little bit of damage, but no kill secure. We get the exhaust out of the Lux there, but no return on that. And Eevee getting very low from a dive and committing. It looks like first blood going over to the Aatrox there. And then the Hecarim able to pick up a kill just barely. And that 2v1 dive, a little bit sloppy there of a dive, but now we got a return dive coming from Detonation Focus Me. So the action does not stop. They're trying to get that AD carry locked down, but instead they're going to have to turn towards Vivid, who is left alone under the turret. Vivid trying to do a dance, make sure that he can get out, but he has no options. Use the flash and exhaust already. Had no way to get out of that. Well, used flash during that scuffle, but Uzurmashi, are you going? Are you staying too long? It's a little dicey. That's a 2v4 situation. Aatrox getting some free time topside, but a couple of plates going to be likely falling over to Detonation Focus Me. And they're trying to just poke him down. V3 really want to get back to that bottom lane turret for themselves so that they can reduce the number of plates. Baby going in, gang very low. Udapon up a little bit far forward, maybe getting a little too close. Going to potentially get knocked out, forcing the flash from Udapon. Udapon, I think that was a little overreaching there. You got too confident with the fact that you guys were just free to poke down that turret for so long. Getting yourself a plate was great, but for the cost of a flash, we've already seen multiple looks down toward the bottom side. I'm expecting it it is just going to keep happening with the composition of this team in order to get Detonation Focus Me where they want to be in order for V3 to protect themselves. Missing some knockups here, nothing bad. Baby just trying to get that knockup, that last hit. Does have to force the flash, taking some turret shots. I think took a little bit more damage than he expected. The Ignite gets dropped from the Hecarim. That's why, bring that up. Because Hecarim, he's got a couple of ways to escape that devastating charge. Onslaught of Shadows. He's got ways to deal with all that stuff. V3 setting up for a dive, trying to answer. But Steel is here because he knows that this is what everybody wants to do. They want to come bottom lane. It's a party bottom lane. Let top lane be in islands. Let mid lane just kind of hang out. So hopefully one of them gets a kill. Get something going for themselves, but Ace and Ramune happy to just keep living their lives in the mid lane, hanging out. Something to focus on is the CS discrepancy. Almost nearly a 20 CS difference in the top side right now. Aatrox, the Hecarim is supposed to be countering this Aatrox. Aatrox doesn't know about that, though, and kind of beating it up. Or it's either Eevee just not knowing the matchup well enough. It's just one of those very, I think, skill-based. It's a counter pick if you know how to use it. Just like any champion. It'll work if you know how to use it, which was sort of a dumb statement to begin with anyways, but you know what I'm saying? If you understand the inner workings of that, and I couldn't tell you exactly because that's such an awkward matchup. Having played some top lane recently and going against Aatrox, it just feels like sometimes a real rough situation. Very worth banning him out in ranked right now as we wait and pray for nerfs to come in. Goodness, that CS difference topside getting really scary. And now V3 taking that advantage. Paz trying to track down the jungler, dropping a ward down. Gonna know where Steel is, who is only level 5 right now still. Doing his best to scale up. Got an Infernal Drake on the table. Rift Herald less than 2 minutes before it spawns. Eevee okay with moving up a little bit aggressive against Paz there because he knows that Steel is in the back pocket for himself. I still expect a majority of this game to happen in the bottom lane. I'd like to see from both teams is Detonation Focus Me. They set up for this Infernal Drake to try and force V3 to answer because they do have a stronger level 6 ultis, just one more away from Gang. Once they're there, I'd say just punch it for the Infernal Drake, fight V3, force them to come in their ultis. They level 6, much stronger in my opinion against V3. And then for V3, I just want them to sort of just take as many turrets as they can with this bottom lane, try and force down this turret, get as many plates as they can, and then start shifting around the Caitlyn Lux and setting up for some turrets and other objectives. If they get some setup time, they can absolutely take the Infernal Drake before Detonation Focus Me gets the opportunity. See Baby going in, Gang just kind of sitting on the side here, trying to be a living ward and mess around with somebody because knows that Steel hanging out on the backside has no worries to deal with and such. Rift Herald here spawning the next 30 seconds. Will Steel and Baby see each other? I mean, they should have a decent sense that Baby is still close in the area. I think they had some vision set up to catch that out. Ramune going on in. It's going to be a 2v1 situation. Is Ace going to be able to get out of this? He does have Flash, able to just bounce on back with his W. No worries for the Akali, but with that push onto the mid lane, doesn't have Flash, didn't get any summoner spells. Eevee getting very low there. Maybe Detonation Focus Me will be able to get something going on this dragon here. But allowing Baby to go ahead and take that Scuttle Crab. Steel a little too concerned still of the dueling power of V3. Or of Baby, I should say. Sorry. Just see this. It feels like Steel and Baby, like, I mean, if we looked at the jungle proximity, it would probably be more than half of this game already. For the short periods that they've farmed topside has been bottom side. And Paz just like doing so much work topside against this Hecarim. It just doesn't feel like Eevee really knows the matchup at all. He's having such a problem here. Teleport about to be back up, so if he bases here, he should be a-okay to return. We'll have Ignite, get some items. This is feeling a little dangerous because World Ender is up and Flash is available for Paz. Eevee does have Onslaught of Shadows available, but it's getting a little dicey. Really trying to go get the knock-up, and that is an easy kill secure. Going to be popping the Flash, but well worth it. And gets the reset on the ulti, but there's no one down there because there's so much focus bottom lane, but Steel is not making anything happen. Baby's going to go in onto Steel, almost killing him. Steel does have Flash, and ooh, Lux Laser just coming in. A lot of damage onto Steel, but that's going to be a jungler that will have to return to base. Are V3 going to be able to do anything off that? Yes, they are. They're going to say, all right, we got the jungler low. Going to go ahead, get some more vision control for ourselves, and take care of this dragon. Ramune thinking about getting in there, but now that vision control belongs to V3, going to hand over this Infernal Drake. So a big win for V3. This is in playing hard into the Elise, which brings in the question that early pick Elise. There's a still feels a little bad to be picking that early of an Elise into this, and Eevee just having such a tough time topside on the Hecarim. Feels like there could have been a couple of better options for him maybe in that matchup, just getting left out to dry. Very unfortunate for him so far. I mean, there are just so many other options if I want to look at maybe Eevee's champion pool. I mean, Renekton was still available, and he's getting a lot of play time. I'm interested in seeing that matchup more so. But don't want to dabble off into pick ban just yet. Keep focusing on the game as V3. They've got a little bit over a 1k gold lead right now, sitting on that Infernal Drake. Paz in a 2v1 situation. His Steel was just hiding out in the top side for oh so long. The level advantage in favor of Aatrox, but that doesn't matter when you're in a 2v1 situation. Going to be able to get that kill for themselves. So Detonation Focus Me bringing the gold back into their side just by a little bit. Still down a hair. Baby here to pick up some experience. So V3 not losing all out on this. See some pings onto Rift Herald. I don't think they're going to be doing it because teleport is available for Aatrox. Don't want to overcommit to that objective right now. This mid lane, not a lot of action happening here. Ace and Rune happy to just be farming, help out their junglers, and pay attention to if anything's going on in the objectives. Everybody knows how this game is going to be rolling out. But if Detonation Focus Me wants something to happen, Ramune sort of needs to step up, needs to become another catalyst point for them to maybe break things out for them. I know we saw him try and engage onto Ace already, and it seemed like he had that advantage, didn't end up forcing the flash, so maybe Ace just playing safe enough to not incite any kind of engagement or anything. But want to see more action from this mid laner to maybe moving towards bottom side, using that teleport advantage that he has to make something happen for this side of Detonation Focus Me. Because, I mean, with Hecarim losing on his side, you just see sort of where the scales are weighing towards, and it's definitely going in favor of V3 as the game scales on later. I like the scaling on V3 just a little bit more. I mean, to be fair, Detonation Focus Me's got a pretty decent scaling on their side as well, but just the lack of action from Detonation Focus Me with so much teamfight potential. But now we have something going on. Gang going in, using the ulti, getting that knock up. Here comes Paz in. It looks like Ramune on the backside using his teleport as well, but left out to dry by the rest of his teammates. It looks like a missed call there. Gang getting low himself, not able to follow up on that. Route onto Gang not coming through. The pullback, I should say, whatever that is called. Ethereal Chains, and whoa, V3 going a little bit too far forward there. Xin ended up dying, being a little too uppity there on the bottom side. And with all that action going on bottom, and it's still not done here actually. Gang getting a little bit low. Paz trying to make something happen, and Udapon now getting caught up by the Ethereal Chains and going to get killed. I thought Gang was actually going to be the one to fall, but instead it was Udapon, which is very unfortunate. This turret's going to be likely falling right now over to V3. Detonation Focus Me able to get that first turret blood, first brick as it were, onto Hecarim, which is nice because he has been pretty deprived and actually had a chance to gain some CS for himself, so equalizing that gold a little bit. Lux going out maybe a little bit too far forward, but not able to get anything to teleport nice and forward from the Aurelia, but seems like a mixed call here as they just got panicked by the Aatrox appearing. Didn't think they could really do anything, as Aatrox has gotten a lot of power for himself. A little bit of a messy back and forth here. If they had just stayed separated, I'm not sure why Xin moved over to that side of the wall. Maybe to just get away from the cocoon of the Elise. Potential there, but I think he could have just let the minions stay in front of you, kind of let Lux and Caitlyn just deal out their damage, play around that max range instead of putting yourself into such a danger zone. But nice infernal chains. I said three other things. I was like, that's not right. It's something chains, but goodness gracious. So Detonation Focus Me grouping on up. We got Mountain Drake set up. It looks like they want to turn their attention to that, which is a perfect opportunity for Detonation Focus Me to opt into their team fight. Potential V3, not as great. Got some nice ultis, but if Detonation Focus Me is just trying to find and engage, but seem a little bit scared here. Ace trying to find a target onto the back line, forcing off the side of Detonation Focus Me, and Detonation Focus Me handing over the dragon for free. We finally see Detonation Focus Me drop an ultimate from the Aurelia, but still no engagements getting called here. Need to see an onslaught of shadows coming out from the Hecarim. Just pick a target and go. Gonna go onto the Aatrox. Seems a little bit misplaced here. Trying to get any kind of ulti combination and gonna funnel into a single line to take a full-on Lux ulti. Members of V3 staying pretty healthy. One member, two members dying, so it's a 2-for-2 situation right now. Paz going to be able to get the reset, luckily. Looks like the action may not be done just yet, but the long range of Lux and Caitlyn still alive. Vivid seeing the golden opportunity to get that bind and drop that Lux ulti. It's a dream scenario of an entire team, nearly an entire team, just standing in a corridor to take a full-on ulti. But I think if they just not worried about Ace on the backside, just go for those carries on the front, they would have been able to move up towards River rather than falling back and being so scared of the Akali. They did not have flash, so it's hard. I mean, there's a lot of other ways to protect the Xayah as well. And using the Onslaught of Shadows just singularly on Aatrox, that feels pretty bad. We didn't even see the grand entrance. Yeah, such a nice, easy ultimate. And it's like, are they really standing in a corridor right now? Goodness. Such an easy turn of events for V3 to pick up, and they get themselves an Infernal and a Mountain Drake for themselves. So really easy stuff to piece together on that event. And more objectives potentially going over to V3 as they look towards Rift Herald, but Detonation Focus Me getting picked up on the Vision Trail, heading over to Rift Herald. V3 still aware of the fighting potential of Detonation Focus Me here. Scared of their team fight threat that looms, as gold is still very, very close, but with that Infernal and Mountain Drake, I'd still say that this game right now, in this current game state, Detonation Focus Me have a lot of ways to win. V3 in a good spot with the Infernal and the Mountain Drake, as that'll definitely help them scale into later parts of the game. And with a 4-1 Aatrox, that is quite absurd. He's going to be a major threat in team fights. But I still, at this current game state, I would probably give it. Man, I know I keep bouncing back and forth here, but still Detonation Focus Me with their ultis, because if you just set up around an objective, if you force a fight in a smaller area like you saw around the dragon, and not just using onslaught of shadows onto one target like they did for the Aatrox, which maybe the call was to just try and take out the Aatrox, but there were just so many other carries. Offset the fight, give yourself the number advantage, and put it in your favor on the numbers game. Let Aatrox, hopefully you can keep your carries safe between the Rakan and maybe Hecarim on a little bit of that, just trying to deal out some damage, get a nice fear from the Onslaught of Shadows. Hard to say what was going on through the minds as they're setting up for that fight. The game tempo slowing down just a little bit. Rift Herald, no one able to get that. We got an Infernal Drake in less than a minute and a half, and hopefully we see some more action heading around that part of the game, because getting 2 Infernal Drakes would be pretty rough to deal with. On the side of V3, Detonation Focus Me definitely do not want that to deal with. And CS actually equalizing pretty well across the board. EV doing a good job of getting back into the game and farming up. Aatrox spending so much time on that bottom side mess with the back and forth teleports and strange dives and ongoing 3-minute long fight or whatever it was. But getting farm back, and after losing so hard in the lane, good on him. Finally has Trinity Force. Righteous Glory picked up as well to add some, help out his team and actually increase his own damage with the speed up and such. Dragon going to be spawning here soon. Both teams interested, trying to wait for an entry point to get into that dragon. After this push, want to see the members of V3 move on in, set up a nice Caitlyn trap, because I still think Detonation Focus Me have a lot of great potential to get themselves set up, or at least fight in a convincing way for this dragon. V3 just fighting for Baron Vision here. They know that Aurelia's on the top side, does have teleport on the side of Detonation Focus Me. V3 just trying to play it safe and keep Aatrox so that they don't have to get the teleport. And Ace going on in steel, getting very low. Ace just going to take Elise out before I can even realize what's going on. Yoto Mariash in a very awkward situation. Fear able to hit the Lux and Caitlyn, but no follow-up from the side of Detonation Focus Me. So that was a nice clean kill picked up by V3. And while there's distracted in the mid lane, Babe's just going to go on down and get Infernal Drake for himself with Paz. Aurelia, not really sure of what was going on with that fight, does not commit the teleport and just goes on into the jungle to steal some resources, but doesn't even get any real damage on the turret. Now V3 looks like they're just going to be forcing down this turret. This is how this takedown should have looked bottom side much earlier on for V3, but that's a second turret and second Infernal Drake picked up for V3. And a lot of power getting handed over, and Detonation Focus Me just not playing Not really on the same page, it seems, right now. Steel just getting popped immediately. Should not have been out that far. You knew that they were all there and the threat potential of getting caught. That everyone's going to be fighting for that dragon. You just want to get grouped, sort of put them in a pinch position so you can catch them with the Aurelia maybe teleporting in, or at least stall long enough for Aurelia to get to that top lane and force V3 to answer force V3 to answer with one of their own carries. Just dance around the dragon pit, put V3 into a bad position instead of awkwardly fighting for vision in a spot that you didn't really control. Was there's a tad bit of uncertainty in that. You're just a weak old Elise wandering on in. Anybody's going to pop you. I mean, that Zen, you've been scared of this entire game of getting popped, but now an Akali is going to come down and slam you on your face. But as this game continues on, gold not too different as of right now. V3 with the slightest bit of golden vanish, and now we've engaged going on into the turret dive. An extravagant turret dive from Detonation Focus Me, able to pick up a kill onto Yotur Rimash. Now Udapon in a bad position, going to get killed as well by the Akali. And a 1-for-1, 2-for-1 actually. V3 picking up a kill, a little bit too overforced by Detonation Focus Me there. They're able to take out the AD carry, but with Paz being so strong, yeah, he's just going to go force off this in a 2v1 situation. And Paz just way too strong right now to deal with. And another kill going over the Akali, both bounties on the Akali and Aatrox. Going to be able to pop some real squishy targets. Steel, I just imagine, is going to keep dying and dying over in this match here. And not a lot of MR. We finally see that first MR item getting built on the Hecarim as well, respecting that Aatrox. So let's go ahead and see this Eevee going for the dive, using Devastating Charge. They want to take out that Caitlyn as quickly as possible. On ahead with Onslaught of Shadows. Udapon in now a bad position as he gets pincered on. Detonation Focus Me just feeling like they're being a little bit desperate. It'd have been great to see that happen around the dragon instead of a turret that is near full health, and where you have a rough idea of where the enemy team should be that you're going to easily get collapsed on. So Detonation Focus Me really flubbing the plays here. And now V3 with a little bit more of a gold lead now. It's still not significant. CS still equalized pretty well here, but a little less than a 3K gold lead. Want to see that continue to grow. V3 Esports. Caitlyn now with 2 items, working on her 3rd. I think they've got a great potential to keep sieging turrets. Right now, teleport is down on Paz, so they cannot do a split push right now. But looking for fights, I think it's okay. They have the gold advantage. Steel already getting chunked down, having to jump out of the fight here. Udapon really low on the backside. We see V3 doing a lot of damage onto Detonation Focus Me, but now Eevee getting onto the backside, trying to get a kill, able to get the kill into Zen. Paz able to revive on the backside, force out into a 3v1 situation. V3 still going to get the better end of that deal with another 2-for-1. Jungler's just getting traded with the highest deaths on both sides. I mean, tied with Eevee here, but good on V3 to finally force a fight here and get something rolling for themselves. Let's go ahead and see that one more time. So we see Baby just going to jump on Steel right away. Knows how easy of a target he is. Ace onto the Akali, onto the backside, doing a lot of damage, forcing him on the backside. Paz able to get a kill and just scare the rest of the backside of the carries side of Detonation Focus Me. Hecarim trying to do what he can. He trying to fight on the backside, and just that separation in the fight, just like miscommunication, it seems. I mean, Aatrox is responding right now. Can we move forward? If he responds, then we're going to be in trouble. Hecarim just way too deep into the situation. Just constant miscommunication, it seems, from the side of Detonation Focus Me. And another Mountain Drake is up now. An Eevee, Devastating Charge coming on in. He's going to go on to the Aatrox. Not going to commit to the engage. Just setting up a nice trap line from the Caitlyn is what you should do around these kind of objectives. Paz hiding out in the dragon pit. Don't think they actually know that he is there. Just being all secret-like. These Caitlyn traps completely neutralizing what Hecarim wants to do as far as running on in would get locked up pretty easily, keeping Moyash plenty safe. Detonation Focus Me just handing over control in that area. Too scared now to fight. Maybe that double Infernal Drake's really gotten into their head, even though they've still got a decent team fight. And Detonation Focus Me just going to completely hand over vision control and control of the dragon entirely. Still getting locked in there. He's not wanting to go in. Now we see Detonation Focus Me appear after the dragon's dead. Ace going on in, trying to get onto Steel again, trying to offset the fight. Ramune getting very low himself. Baby dropping the hourglass. Aatrox getting taken out. So now Detonation Focus Me have a real chance in this fight. Kill getting picked up by Xayah. And no, it doesn't look like there's going to be continued aggression on this side. Is this going to be Baron for the side of Detonation Focus Me? The jungler is low, but the jungler is dead on the other side. I think this is the time to make that call. Yatorimash still pretty strong, but Ramune trying to get onto those carries onto the backside. Ramune dropping out the Feather Storm, trying to get the pullback, not able to get the stun on it, not able to lock down any targets just yet. But I think that you got to make the call for going to Baron. You got to stop fiddling around with these carries. I think you lost your golden opportunity to really punch ahead in this game on the side of Detonation Focus Me. Instead, yes, you were able to get some kills, able to win a fight. You've handed over 2 Mountain Drakes and 2 Infernal Drakes. You should have been doing that earlier on in the game so far. So let's see this go on ahead, how this fight came out. Ace going deep onto the backside. Lux ulti not doing a lot of damage this time around as some resistances are getting built up. But a little bit awkward for the Xin there to dropping the hourglass kind of, and Paz, the timing on Paz and Baby a little bit off there. But not a giant ordeal. It's completely fine. As they drop a control ward in the Baron pit with 2 Infernal Drakes and Mountain Drakes, they can easily sneak a Baron for themselves. I think you could send 2-3 members over there, depending on who you pick. The right combination could probably take that Baron out very quickly, distract the side of Detonation Focus Me, and go ahead and take that. Paz not at all afraid. Steel very afraid. We see that forcing back Steel a little bit. They're going to be calling for Baron. They're really trying to force the teleports, it looks like, of Detonation Focus Me. They don't want to fight right now. They just want to get that lane advantage. Rune with a little bit time before his next teleport is up. So what I want to see right now is send Paz in the bottom lane. Go for those turret. Push out that wave. Teleport on in if they try and force, or just dance around the Baron pit a little bit. Give Paz that opportunity. Start up the Baron. Force a 4v5 situation on the side of Detonation Focus Me, because with no teleports up right now, you got to try and make that play. Instead, V3. Instead, we got a little bit of an ARAM situation going on. Teams just keep fighting for vision awkwardly around the pit, which is, fine, but I just want to, that was some heavy crit damage onto Steel. He can't really get involved in the fight. Eevee onto the backside of the fight, but no real support. Baby is likewise up for the side of V3, going deep, but no support really. Lux damage not doing a lot. Gang and Eevee very low onto the side. Paz able to get the reset for the Aatrox after this first kill. Actually, that was a GA, not at the reset, and only a kill onto Baby. V3, though, coming out ahead, almost coming out ahead in that fight, getting very low. But we see the damage from Lux not really coming through, going for the Athene, so mainly opting in for a more supportive role than anything, which is what you should do. But Gang getting so low in there. Eevee likewise getting so low. A lot of damage coming out from V3, and we constantly seeing like these the top laner of Detonation Focus Me, jungler of V3, going hard on the paint, onto the backlines, and then sometimes getting left out to dry by their team. Just trying to keep themselves safe. You don't want everybody just jumping on into an Aurelia or an Elise, I suppose, so that's fair. Ooh, and a third Infernal Dragon spawning in less than a minute. Will Detonation Focus Me hand over this dragon as well? In less than a minute, Aurelia is hanging down there. Could probably solo that pretty easily. V3 in a nice setup position here. Ace on the backside. I don't think they still know. We see a ping back there. I'm not sure if they are aware. V3 going to start Baron up, force Detonation Focus Me to come on in. Got a nice line of Caitlyn trap set up. Looks like they're going to call it off because they don't know where Eevee's at, or at least they saw him on the backside. See some pings onto Ace, but he is plenty strong still. Eevee getting relatively low, taking a lot of damage. Still no engagements. Turret's dying. Mid lane here. These minions keep pouring on down to the mid lane. Nice line of Caitlyn traps still set up. Detonation Focus Me. They could fight for this. And, I mean, Hecarim just left. It seemed a little premature to leave. Ace just trying to distract Detonation Focus Me. They are able to get the Baron. Now they just got to get out securely. Infernal Dragon's up. We see some pings out there. So Detonation Focus Me finally going to turn their attention and at least get something for themselves as they just casually handed over the Baron buff. Very awkwardly. There's not a lot of get up and go behind Detonation Focus Me right now. They're just very scared to engage, which is a bit confusing. I mean, maybe they just felt like their early game was not that strong. They wanted to sort of win lane, win game, as Detonation Focus Me typically, I think, is known to do. Get those advantages early on and then just sort of stop their enemies. But put on the back foot, they don't seem to be too confident. Maybe this is what's been plaguing Detonation Focus Me for so long, is that they weren't able to really get anything. If they didn't have much competition to push them into bad spots early on. And so they would just win lane super hard and then come and smack you into the late game so that you didn't have any options. But their macro, their objective control, not too hot. Got nice 1-3-1 setup here from the side of V3. They can just play it nice and slow. Let the side laners push in those minion waves. We see Paz doing a good job of just waiting to see where the enemy is going to be showing up. We see a transition towards the bottom side. A lot of commitment towards bottom. We see Aatrox pushing up the wave. All members of Detonation Focus Me heading on bottom. Another turret picked up for V3. So some nice control, just nice even display. Controlled display of Baron getting used here. Nothing too fancy. Detonation Focus Me can't do too much right now. All they can try and do is stop the bleeding as much as they can. Only one outer turret left for them remaining. So want to just be plenty safe without having anything go too awry for themselves. But at this point, I think Detonation Focus Me, I don't think they're entirely out of the season. I mean, it's still early in the season, of course. We see a Hecarim going on in, though, dropping Onslaught of Shadows. A nice fear, finally. Lux dropping down immediately. Gang trying to get in on dropping some CT. Yurturimash not able to get any kind of consistent damage out right now. The Xin already dead. Caitlyn out on her own and getting jumped on by the Hecarim, dropping the Hourglass, but I think should still be able to fall. Detonation Focus Me getting one more kill. Almost a near ace, as Ace is the only member left of V3. It is going to be all up to Ace to hold this on his own, but that's 5 members strong for Detonation Focus Me. Are they going to be able to end this game right now? I mean, Ace doing a lot of damage still. Detonation Focus Me just getting one clean fight. This is almost a disaster from the side of V3 if they're able to lose like this. V3 going to be going in. Ace able to pick up 1 kill, 2 kills. Oh my gosh, is this going to be a penta for himself? Still trying to get on in, not getting locked in, playing safe, making sure. Lux ulti just barely missing Utapon with a quick feat. Able to get out, stun getting locked down onto Ace. A near death scenario. Detonation Focus Me blasting their way back into this game very quickly. Ace on the hunt, trying to get that kill on Utapon, trying to get in range. But not going to be happening. Going to get locked up. Ace almost falling there. And there you go. That's how you team fight with Detonation Focus Me's composition. That's really nice to see. That finally happened at the end of the game. And near travesty for V3. Because that was utterly sad. And this is why when you have Baron, you don't... Like, why are you grouped up like this? There's no one pushing in the bottom lane. You want to try and find out where those targets are. Not just get pushed up in the mid lane. Felt like such a kind of a bronze play where You're not taking really care of your side lanes. You're not forcing Detonation Focus Me to show face first. You said, oh, okay, we can show face. We have Baron control. That's fine. You want to see what the enemy is trying to do, make them kind of react to you instead of just, hey, we're all here. We know you have a great engage. Still a little bit of Baron. Could have sent your mid laner bottom. Let Ace just try and offset the rolls. But good job by Ace to clean up some kills here. Stop this from going down. I'm sure Detonation Focus Me thought, oh, this game is in the bag now. We got this for sure. Not able to close it out just yet. Very close situation. So Detonation Focus Me, clearly not out of it yet. I think, if anything, that's a great example of after the tapes, you say, hey, this is what you guys should have been doing from the first dragon. Handing over that many dragons is unacceptable. You got to fight. You got to do what you just did. You just got to hard engage when you see all those members, not go for the strongest member because it's Aatrox. It's going to be kind of hard to kill him. Go for the larger sum, offset the fight as quickly as you can. I think would have been the better case scenario, but who knows what the calls were at the time, what the game state they thought it was. Setting up for another ARAM style situation here, catering towards Detonation Focus Me's style. Torimash getting very far away from the rest of his team. Eevee going on in, knows that the AD carry is very far away. Gang, though, getting very low himself. Baby onto the backside of the AD carry. Paz doing a lot of damage on his own. Onto the backside, Ace doing a lot of work as well. Steel getting very low. Yutapon already dead. Gang dead as well. Paz doing so much damage. Ramune out on his own in a 2v1 situation. Steel trying to hide in the Dragon Pit, but that's not going to do anything for you, just using an Hourglass. And now Eevee trying to base, but it doesn't really matter. GA responding, letting Aurelia to respond only to die again, and that is a complete ace for Detonation onto Detonation Focus Me. There are very long death timers. This should absolutely be the game, and it will, because I know the results, guys. It ends at 40 seconds, so I tried to be as serious as I could throughout this entire match, but hey, what are you going to do? Detonation Focus Me, you got to shore up your problems. You got to go for those engages a little bit better. I mean, it looked like that fight was good, but fantastic work by V3 in that last fight to sort of come back. I would not have expected V3 to win that last fight, but good on them to hold it down, end up winning. V3 absolutely deserving the win. Should have been a little bit faster, I think. Plenty of things to look towards, but that game was also handed over to them in a pretty significant way, I think, by Detonation Focus Me on a couple of points. But a lot to learn for Detonation Focus Me. I think a lot of things to clear up. V3, jury's still out, I think. I want to see them kind of clean up their side lane control a little bit and how they set up for Barons and force the enemy team to react to them. But thank you all for listening, guys. Got to keep working on my how I flow with everything. But thank you for listening and have a nice one. Bye.